Hello, my name is Omar Rampersad. It's Monday, April 2nd, 2018 at 3:26 p.m. in Toronto. So, I'm just going to confirm that the tweets I'm tweeting at ROSHINI911 are mine. These are ongoing, these tweets are about ongoing harassment outside my window. And it's about the community um, harassment that is being presented as some sort of containment, community containment, policing, community policing. So as I tweeted, the comments outside the window is basically about whores, prostitutes, so the woman effing herself, and it's directly related to me because of the case going on. So this is part of the complaint I filed in the Human Rights Tribunal. So these comments are directly related to the case, which makes it directly related to me. This morning, I was asleep and I was woken up by loud talking, and it went on and on and on and on and on about the same topics. Somebody talking about the woman effing herself and effing around, picking up men all over the place, and so on and so on and so on. And it went on and on and on. Finally, I got up and I looked out the window, and sure enough, it was the worker I have in court, and he was talking to the contractor. So this harassment is a continuing process, it seems. The filing of the tribunal hearing is not stopping it. So it just is continuing. So why is it continuing? Well, because the filing at the tribunal is part of a community targeting program. The harassment is a result of being a target, being flagged and put on a list, and people are choosing you to manage you and harass you and to artificially criminalize you progressively. So, what is happening outside the window was happening for the last 10 years. However, when I called the cops or I went to the station complaining, they told me I was mentally ill because it was all in my head. But now I have a court proceeding that's in the system. Sorry, a court filing that's in the system that's being processed. And the contents of that filing is exactly what's being spoken about outside my window and in the trains and in the buses by gang members. As I tweeted a picture yesterday, these people were definitely gang members. They were talking in Spanish, South American, and they were talking about rape. I didn't record it because I was too scared to do anything. I basically very quickly took a picture, and because I felt in danger, because they were talking about, the gangs are after this woman, and you actually, they said they were looking at me directly, and as they walked out. They had gotten out at the station before mine, and I was standing at the door to get out of the station that was coming up. And as they got out the train, they passed the door that I was standing at to wait for the next stop. And they looked at me and said, "All these men are looking for you. We are looking for you." These are threats. This is harassment. So the information is with the gangs, with the public, most people, because it's community. A lot of people, most people know about it. Some, not all, is going to take part in it. Gang members are going to take advantage of the fact that I am compromised. And they know that the cops are not on my side, so they're going to take advantage of that fact as well. And they're going to continue to track me with the monitor's help. The monitor, on the name on the account, who gets me out of the system because it's subcontracted, is going to is going sorry, it's contracted, is going to be the, let me say that again. The monitor who gets me out of the system is going to be subcontracted from the system, the city, most likely. So then he's going to contract that out to somebody else, who may contract it out to somebody else. So this is involving a whole lot of people, a whole lot of gangs, a huge network of people, which means that you're going to be stalked and harassed anywhere you go, basically. They're going to infiltrate everywhere you are: stores, gyms, workplaces, family, friends. Um, if you travel abroad, they will also infiltrate the hotel staff. And it goes on and on and on. So, on and on. So, this is intended to happen everywhere you go. The idea, of course, is to keep you servile, in my case, to sell me as a prostitute, which I'm not. And if I'm not, to convert me into one, and good luck with that. That's not going to happen because here I am talking about what's going on and how it's being done and the process of recruitment, which is starting with the flagging. So the trafficking is taking place in the process of being adjoined and espoused by multiple people, male and female. I'm being sexualized because I heard there was a video that was taken from my sister-in-law's house that had me looking like um, uh, what was it, a frog with my legs open, masturbating. Now, to have that happen, then somebody would have a camera in the bedroom. I do masturbate. I have absolutely no problem telling the world I masturbate. It's good for you. However, I don't do it under camera. I don't do it for anybody who is looking into my home. I don't have my home hooked up to anything. Whoever is looking into my home is doing so illegally. It's a crime. They're committing a crime. Um, I'm not going to conduct my life according to what the criminals say as the updates that's being done outside my window. I refuse to change my lifestyle and my health needs, and masturbation is part of my healing process, stress relief, basically, pain relief, stress relief, hormones that builds your bones, that's released in your system, that heals you internally. All these things release into your system when you have sexual activity, and if you don't have a partner, if you don't have a partner, masturbation is a great way to get the benefits of those hormones, and and you know, you don't want to be promiscuous. But for me, that's not an option. So just going out and finding somebody to have sex with is not an option for me because it doesn't fall within my personality profile to be promiscuous. So masturbation is, it's not only for health reasons and stress relief and pleasure. It's also a spiritual journey if it's done in the right frame of mind, with the intent, the correct intent. But this is going in too deep into the topic. But there seemed to be a lot of harassment about my masturbating habits in my home, and I think that relates to the pimps who I believe are in the building, and the people who are joining and espousing who are Johns remotely. So these people have a problem with masturbation because I heard the comment, you have to be hungry. In other words, you have to be wanting the sexual activity. So as they drop the hints, you open your legs, and they stimulate you with these technologies. It's for their pleasure, by the way. Then you're going to be receptive to it because you're going to be hungry. Gang activity, traffickers taking using the gangs and taking advantage of the whole situation to terrorize you into showing, into performing inside your home. And then when eventually, after all the terrorization and all the harassment, you succumb to it. In my case, that's not going to happen because obviously it's not going to happen because I'm talking about it openly as I am. When you succumb to it and you do it, then they'll turn around and say, "Oh, look, she's a prostitute. She's actually doing it. We were right all along, and this is what she was doing all along," because they'd have historical file of people looking at you and recording it, and they'll turn it back and say, "Well, she knew about it all along." So here I am saying, if it was happening 10 years ago, I sure as hell didn't know about it. I didn't know anybody was looking at me 10 years ago inside my home. However, I've been told that this is happening outside my window by the pimp from the building. And so now that I am fairly sure, based on all the harassing comments, that someone is looking into my home, I'm going to say, I'm not going to alter my lifestyle because somebody's looking. I'm not going to deprive myself of the benefits of healthy activity that I believe in because simply because somebody's looking. This is not going to happen. And I'm not doing it for anybody who is looking. These are criminals who are looking in. Criminals are not going to have control of over my life this way. I refuse to allow that to happen. So when I insist on living my life my way, what happens is the worker, who is the pimp in the building and who calls the cops all the time, is constantly talking about what I do inside my home openly. I have him in for sexual harassment, but he's openly talking about masturbation outside my window to the contractors, to anybody and everybody who's in the loading dock. Openly talking about masturbation, effing whore. She's a Chinese bovine, which I have on record in a video being shouted at on the street. Also, there is another dimension to this. Every time I talk about this, I get a laser-like effect on my body. So right now I'm talking. I am getting an effect on the arm, like a needle in the arm. So this is the remote technology. It's just like I'm being remotely viewed and remotely violated. The same technology that's used to violate you sexually can also hit your eyes, hit your legs, wherever, make you fall in the bathtub and so on. And outside, of course, when you're walking. I do believe that there's a lot of people out there who are being affected this way, kids especially. They're selected to be trained and recruited. This technology is being used. If they talk, they're gang stalked, they're harassed to shut them up, just like they're doing me. Obviously, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Harassment, terrorization is not going to shut me up. I'm not doing this. Whatever I do in my home is my business. If you're listening and you're looking and you're recording it and you're taking it to magistrates and judges saying, oh, look, she's mentally ill, she's doing this, she's doing that inside my home, this should not be done. These are what privacy laws are all about. What I do inside my home is my business. It's nobody else's business. It's my business. And it should not be recorded and it should not be used in a court of law for any reason whatsoever. Talk to you another time.